Hey, welcome to the Ask Coach Carroll show, episode number 2. And today I actually had an awesome question come in for this, and it's really something that I've never really thought about. But I'm actually going to focus on one question this week, and it comes from a person that reached out to me. I post a lot of videos on my social media, so on Facebook, and if you haven't checked out my Facebook, shame on you. Just search hashtag Coach Carroll to find that. But Nicole Matot, I didn't butcher that too much, Nicole. But she asked me, she was watching one of my videos. She loved the advice, and she said, I'm just going to read this. I thrive every day to succeed, but I have yet to come close because of not acting on it. Yeah. It drives me insane. I'm not where I want to be. I hear it's all about connections. Do you have any advice on how to create those connections? So the reason you probably noticed why I'm only focusing on this one question this week is because there's actually a couple questions within here. So number one, you've got to take action, massive amounts of action to be successful, because you have to understand that success only happens through failure. So you have to have these shortcomings, if you will, because failure is defined by quitting. We don't want you to quit, but you want to have shortcomings. You want to have these things that don't go like you think they should go, things that make you upset, things that don't work out too well. If you can do that and you can persist through and keep taking loads and loads of action, everything else will fall into place. So really, your question, Nicole, of how do I go about getting these connections, and how do I create them? You do that through not trying to create connections, as crazy as that seems. You do it by putting in the right amount of work. So I'm not sure what your business is, Nicole, but I think that by going to your networking events and cold calling and doing your marketing for your business, or if you don't have a business started yet, taking on those massive amounts of actions. You have to be real with yourself on how many hours you're spending on Facebook and how many hours you are actually working. It cracks me up when people are like, oh, Coach Carroll's a poser, or it's fake, or nice 3 Series. You don't even, which I'll, in all full transparency, actually sold the BMW because I'm doing some big real estate deals. Part of being an entrepreneur and part of being successful is not being worried about what the public eye perceives of you. So making cold calls. If someone hangs up on you, I don't care, because I want that. I'm willing, and I posted a picture this morning, a quote this morning. It said, I'm willing to go through 1,000 no's to hear the one big yes. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do that? Because a lot of people talk about wanting to be successful. They're talking about want to, have nice cars and live in big houses and do all this, but they won't put in the work. They won't stay up till 11 o'clock at night when everyone else in the houses went to sleep. They won't do what they need to do over the top, above and beyond what it calls you to do. And let me tell you something. The biggest thing that you can do to grow your business is to pick up the phone. If you want to make connections, that's how you start. You pick up the phone, you start cold calling. And the people that tell me, oh, cold calling's dead, it doesn't work anymore, that's a thing of the past. Let me tell you, the only people, and no disrespect to my fans in India, the only people that cold call anymore are either automated calls or Indians. When I say Indians, I mean telemarket, foreigners that aren't naturally English-speaking people. So by you picking up the phone, you're instantly going to be different. You're going to be different in the fact that you have the courage, the audacity to pick up and offer your services or your product to someone. You're going to be different in the fact that you're trying a marketing technique that a lot of people are afraid to use. And I don't bust people on that too often, but that's what it really comes down to. Saying that cold calling doesn't work is just basically another way of saying, hey, I'm afraid to make the phone call, or I'm afraid to hear the word no, or I'm afraid to be rejected, or I'm afraid to be hung up on. You have to put all that bullshit aside if you want to be successful. So, Nicole, I don't think your question really is about how do I make connections. I think your question was answered in the very first part, where you said you thrive every day to succeed, but you've yet to come close because of not acting on it. So let me ask you, if you thrive every day to succeed, but you're not acting on it, are you really thriving, or are you just dreaming about it? Because dreams live in fantasy world. Goals live in fantasy world. Action is the conduit to take dreams and goals and ambitions and bring them through the conduit of action over here to reality. So hopefully that answers your question. I appreciate you sending that in. Again, if any of you have questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you, sales or business related. Again, Nicole, thanks for taking the time and the courage to ask the question. I hope that you're doing great wherever you may be watching this video. And until next time, here's to your success.